makasatisfy sa hanap buhay.
Sa ating paglalaro sa basketball, mayroon tayong gagamitin na rules. Foul! Minsan, hindi natin sinasadya, nakakasakit na pala tayo, kaya iniiwan tayo. Traveling! Masarap mag-travel, lalo't kasama mo siya. Pero, kasama mo nga siya, iba namang nasa isip niya. Out of bounds! Masaya sa simula, may hangganan din pala. Substitution! Meron tayo, substitution. Pwede kang pumalit sa lugar niya, pero huwag mong kakalimutan, kaibigan ka lang niya. Time out! Pwede kayo magpahinga, nakakapagod na, kapag pinaglalaroan ka.
Uy! Nandiyan pala kayo ha. Gusto ko lang ipaalam sa inyo na meron ng EVC Films dyan sa YouTube. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Mag-subscribe na!
Mga kababayan, naharap na naman po tayo sa mabigat na pagsubok na ito. Ito yung COVID-19.
I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's safe.
Nandito po kami para hikayatin pa po kayo na maging matibay.
Mas maging matatag po tayo and just stay positive po sa lahat po ng nangyayari ngayon.
Mga mahal kong kababayan, lampasan po natin, pagtagumpayan po natin ang pagsubok na ito.
Stay strong sa panahon po na to.
Huwag tayong mawawalan ng pag-asa.
At inihikayat din po namin kayo na sana makinig po tayo sa ating gobyerno.
Sumunod muna tayo sa gobyerno dahil yun yung pinakamainam na paraan para hindi na lumagana pa yung virus.
Let's all stay at home.
Spend time with our loved ones, with our families. At higit po sa lahat, make sure to pray. Pray for everyone. Pray for everything that is going on right now. Especially our frontliners po who are sacrificing their lives to take care of everything.
Higit sa lahat, patuloy tayong lumapit, magtiwala at manalangin sa ating Panginoong Diyos.
At lagi tayong manalangin dahil yung po ang may pinaka-mainam na solusyon sa lahat po ng mga problema natin.
God bless you and your family. Please stay strong and keep our faith.
Tuloy po ang laban.
あまり強い症状が感じなくても酸素飽和度を測るとか症状のあるなしだけじゃなくて詳しく経過を見ていくっていうことが大事ですね。
Makinig kayo sa aking payo. Ito ang tandaan ninyo. Huwag sasaksi sa mga bagay na hindi naman totoo. Huwag magbibitiw ng mga salita kung hindi ka naman sigurado. Lalo't kung nakasalalay dito dangal ng isang tao. At sa mga nakikita sa internet, huwag agad maniniwala. Mag-ingat upang hindi kayo madaya. Dahil alam naman natin, hindi lahat ng balita ay tama. Maging matalino. Huwag magpapaloko. Mag-ingat sa pagpo-post, pagla-like, pag-share ng kung ano-ano. Dahil baka mamaya hindi mo na namamalayan, isa ka na pala sa mga tao nagkakalat ng maling kwento.
Malaking tulong sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino ang home gardening.
Hindi lang makakatipid dahil hindi nabibili ng kakailanganing pagkain, makakaiwas pa sa kakulangan sa nutrisyon.
Pero kung ang bawat pamilya ay nagtatanim kahit sa maliliit na container o paso, nakasisiya itong tingnan, lalo na kung ito'y iyon na ang aanihin.
Kapag may kalamidad, tumataas ang halaga ng pagkain at nagkukulang ang supply nito.
Kung ang lahat ay may panahon sa pagtatanim, kahit sa sariling bahay o sa bakuran, pwedeng ibenta ang sobrang ani.
Kung lahat tayo ay nagtatanim,
hindi ka na mamumroblema sa budget.
Tiyak pa ang seguridad sa pagkain.
Malayo pa ang umaga, di matanaw ang pag-asa.
Simula sa June 14, 2020, ipagpapatuloy natin ang pagdiriwang ng orihinal na musikang Pilipino sa pagsisimula ng Season 2 ng Himig ng Lahi. Makakasama natin ang mga piling OPM artists na maghahandog sa atin ng kanilang mga awitin. Muli nating sabayan ang mga Pinoy hits na minahal natin sa Himig ng Lahi Season 2. Simula na sa June 14, 2020, Linggo, alas 8 ng gabi. Dito lang sa Net 25.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Mga kababayan, naharap na naman po tayo sa mabigat na pagsubok na ito. Ito yung COVID-19.
I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's safe.
Nandito po kami para hikayatin pa po kayo na maging matibay.
Mas maging matatag po tayo and just stay positive po sa lahat po ng nangyayari ngayon.
Mga mahal kong kababayan, lampasan po natin, pagtagumpayan po natin ang pagsubok na ito.
Stay strong sa panahon po na to.
Huwag tayong mawawalan ng pag-asa.
At inihikayat din po namin kayo na sana makinig po tayo sa ating gobyerno.
Sumunod muna tayo sa gobyerno dahil yun yung pinakamainam na paraan para hindi na lumagana pa yung virus.
Let's all stay at home.
Spend time with our loved ones, with our families. At higit po sa lahat, make sure to pray for everyone, pray for everything that is going on right now, especially our frontliners po who are sacrificing their lives to take care of everything.
Higit sa lahat, patuloy tayong lumapit, magtiwala at manalangin sa ating Panginoong Diyos.
Lagi tayong manalangin dahil yung po ang may pinaka-mainam na solusyon sa lahat po ng mga problema natin.
God bless you and your family. Please stay strong and keep our faith.
Tuloy po ang laban.
Ein sonniger Tag heute hier in Berlin vor dem Bundestag. Ich bin Irene Juliet Arzadon und möchte diese Gelegenheit nutzen, um ein paar Worte mit euch zu teilen. An alle Menschen da draußen. In dieser Zeit lasst uns nicht vergessen, den Menschen zu danken, die ihr Leben für uns opfern. Sei es die Menschen, die im Krankenhaus arbeiten, in den Altenheimen sowie in den Arztpraxen, aber auch an die Menschen, die im Lebensmittelhandel sich befinden. Die Kassierer. Manchmal reicht es aus, um ihnen ein freundliches Lächeln zu geben. Denn die Menschen, die heute am Arbeiten sind, weil sie nicht so wie einige von uns zu Hause bleiben können, die sollten wir wertschätzen. Ihnen sollten wir unseren Dank ausrichten. Darum lasst uns noch mehr zusammenhalten, sie wertschätzen.
Hello, my name is Robin, and I'm 5 years old. My mom and dad said many people are getting sick. That is why we have to stay at home. That is why I cannot go to school. I cannot play outside, and I cannot even visit my friends. We can only go outside if we visit the doctor, or if we need to buy some food. And when we get home, we have to wash our hands. While I'm at home, I do my homework, clean up my toys, help cooking our food, and help my parents with their work. Please stay home so we can all play together again. Bye!
Hello there. Imagine Demi got the virus, and she infected 2 more. And those 2 infected a lot more of people. And it goes on and on until it became an epidemic. But what if Demi stayed at home? Then those 2 wouldn't have contracted the virus. Then those people would have not been infected. This is not just your battle, it's everyone's, and you can be a huge help. Follow social distancing, or better yet, stay at home. Turuan din natin ang mga bata ng tamang paghugas ng mga kamay. Basain ang kamay ng tubig at lagyan ng sabon. Kuskusin ang iyong mga palad. Gayon din ang pagitan ng mga daliri. Pati na ang likod ng mga palad at daliri. Ganon din ang iyong hinalaki. Kasama ang mga dulo ng iyong mga daliri. Pagkatapos ay iyong palapulsuhan. Gawin ito ng kahit 20 segundo. Pagkatapos ay banlawan ng tubig at patuyuin.
Hello, I'm Alma Angeles. We're moving to the next stage of the pandemic, and as the world resets to the new normal, we find ourselves seeking the right balance between health and livelihood, constantly adjusting the boundaries between liberty and responsibility. Here are tonight's news. President Duterte called on his fellow Filipinos to live with courage, hope, and optimism, even as the country continues its battle against the coronavirus disease pandemic. President Duterte made the call in a taped video message played during the 122nd Independence Day rites at the Rizal Park in Manila. Let's listen in.
I join all Filipinos in celebrating the 122nd anniversary of the proclamation of Philippine independence. 122 years ago, our forefathers proudly proclaimed the birth of the Filipino nation. Today, we honor them for their bravery, heroism, and sacrifice, as well as we thank them for the gifts of democracy and freedom. As we wage united battle against COVID-19, we now have the opportunity to demonstrate that we possess the same gallantry of spirit and the nobility of character as the heroes of our past. Let us now move forward with courage, hope, and optimism as we overcome this pandemic. Mabuhay tayong lahat. Mabuhay ang Republika ng Pilipinas.
President Duterte skipped the ceremonies for the commemoration of the 122nd anniversary of the Declaration of the Philippine Independence held at the Rizal Park in Manila because the number of attendees was limited to 10 people only. He was instead represented by Executive Secretary Salvador Medaldea, who led the wreath-laying and flag-raising rites during the Independence Day celebration. On June 12, 1898, the Philippines' independence from Spain was declared at the ancestral house of the first Philippine President, Emilio Aguinaldo, in Kawit, Cavite. June 12 is a regular holiday in the country to allow Filipinos to celebrate the Philippine independence. Meanwhile, President Duterte has extended his gratitude and thanks to the Japanese Emperor for his message and renewed his commitment to further boost the country's strategic partnership with Japan, that is according to Malacanang. Now, Emperor Naruhito of Japan has sent his warm greetings to the Philippines on the occasion of its 122nd anniversary of the proclamation of Independence. The Emperor's message was relayed to the President on Friday, June 12, but a copy of the document was not released by Malacanang to the public. Now, President Duterte, in a statement, President Duterte was profoundly honored to receive, on behalf of the Filipino people, the warm greetings and good wishes of His Majesty Emperor Naruhito of Japan on the occasion of the 122nd anniversary of the Philippines' independence. The palace, in a statement, also said His Majesty the Emperor's message echoes the beautiful harmony and goodwill heralded by his ascension to the throne last year and is deeply appreciated by the nation. The palace also highlighted that the relations between the Philippines and Japan have reached the golden age. Back in October 2019, to recall, the President traveled to Tokyo to attend the enthronement ceremony of Japan's new emperor, and he used a walking cane during the ceremony for Naruhito's ascendancy to the throne. Now, the palace also highlighted the relations between the Philippines and Japan have reached the golden age. It said the Philippines values its special ties with Japan and is committed to further advancing the bilateral strategic partnership, which both sides have ushered into its own golden age. In other news, President Duterte is set to announce the new quarantine classification in the country on June 15. That is according to Malacanang. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said President Duterte would address Filipinos on Monday to inform them about the new quarantine rules that will be implemented nationwide beginning June 16. Let's listen in.
Ang tanong ng lahat, ano pa ang mangyayari sa Metro Manila at iba pang mga lungsod at probinsya pagpasok ng Martes, June 16? Konting intay na lang po. Mismong si Presidente Duterte po ang haharap at kakausap sa taong bayan sa Lunes, June 15, para i-anunsyo ito. Yung mga naglilik po ng dokumento, hayaan nyo naman pong Presidente na ang mag-announce. Okay, so hindi po natin pangungunahan ng Presidente sa kanyang announcement. At besides, meron pa pong mga apila na mangyayari. So yung listahan po ay hindi pa pinal. Ko-confirm ko po na meron na tayong mga recommendations, pero ang mga rekomendasyon po hindi pa po pinal. So kung kayo po ay magpo-post sa isang
President Duterte was supposed to meet with the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases in Davao City on Thursday but decided to move the meeting to Monday in Manila. Pangasinan, Cagayan Valley, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Metro Manila, Central Visayas, Zamboanga City, Davao, Albay, Cebu, and Mandaue are under general community quarantine until June 15. The rest of the country is under modified GCQ, the lowest level of community quarantine imposed by the government before the shift to the new normal. South Korea's new virus cases rebounded over 50 on Friday, with most of them reported in the Seoul metropolitan area. Health authorities are now forced to extend toughened social distancing in the densely populated capital area. The health minister said South Korea will extend the distancing guidelines until daily new infections drop to single digits. Park Myung-hoo urged residents of the Seoul metropolitan area to stay home as much as possible. The country added 56 new cases, including 43 local infections, raising the total caseload, that is the latest now, to 12,003, according to the Korea Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It marked an increase from 45 posted a day earlier. South Korea eased its strict social distancing guidelines on May 6 on the back of the flattened virus curve, with phased reopenings of schools starting in mid-May. The relaxed social distancing guidelines, however, have been in peril as a group of club-goers from a nightlife district in Seoul were confirmed to be infected with COVID-19. A string of cluster infections tied to religious gatherings, a distribution center, and sports facilities has also popped up. Late last month, the country implemented a 2-week tougher social distancing scheme for the metropolitan area that is home to half the country's population of 50 million, but asymptomatic silent virus spreaders along with secondary transmissions traced to cluster infections harried health authorities who even say the country may now roll back to strict social distancing again unless the virus curve flattens sharply. Now, Thailand is eyeing travel bubbles to revive its tourism. Joining us live from Thailand is Crystal Mapa. Hello, Crystal.
Hi, Alma. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, so here's the latest update here in Thailand, and you are right. Thailand will open travel bubbles with countries which have comparably low coronavirus infections, officials said Friday, as the kingdom tries to claw back money for its battered tourism sector. The country closed its borders at the start of April, leading to millions of job losses across a tourism industry, which accounts for around 20% of GDP. China in January, Thailand had 58 deaths. Buoyed by the low figures, tourism officials are hoping to lure back visitors from regional countries with similar levels of the virus. That includes China, Vietnam, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand. Tawising Visanayutin, spokesman for the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration, said these so-called travel bubbles will allow people from countries who have the same level of virus to visit without the mandatory 14-day quarantine. However, travelers would need to have complete health checks before and after arrival, as well as valid medical insurance. Thailand is expected to lose up to $47 billion this year in tourist revenues, according to an HSBC Global Research note published this week, based on arrivals dropping to 14 million from 40 million last year. The Civil Aviation Authority, which has said airports will remain closed until at least the end of June, is under intense pressure from hoteliers, conference organizers, and airlines to reopen Thai airspace. Thailand's economy has flatlined since the virus struck, hammering tourism and exports. Annual growth is forecast to slump by between 5 to 7%, depending how fast the country can reopen to visitors. Thailand will ease the curfew on June 15 as businesses creep back to life. Bars, clubs, and massage parlors, however, will remain closed. Back to you, Alma.
All right. Thank you very much, Crystal, for your update there in Thailand. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Yes. You too, Alma, and have a nice weekend. Reporting live here in Thailand, I am Crystal Mapa. We live in interesting times.
All right, let's head on over to Brisbane, Australia. Mia Macapagal joins us to tell us the latest coronavirus situation there. Hello, Mia.
Hi, Alma. Good evening.
Good evening from Manila. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. So your updates from Australia?
Yes. So as of 9 p.m. today, it has been reported that 9 cases arose in the last 24 hours, 1 from the state of Queensland and 8 from Victoria. These figures contribute to the total case count of 7,285, with 6,761 total recoveries and 102 deaths. The daily infection rate continues to remain low, yet the authorities continue to be adamant in the continuation of testing. With over 1.7 million tests conducted throughout the nation since January, those experiencing symptoms are highly encouraged and advised for testing. On another note, the implementation of easing restrictions is evidently seen every day. Due to the different situations and conditions of each state, they are positioned at different stages of the National Cabinet's 3-step plan. However, it is expected that Australia, as one, will be into stage 3 of restrictions in July. The guidelines of social distancing, practice of good hygiene, and staying at home if unwell continues to be applied. The so-called new normal measures will be in place concurrent to the threat of the virus. The National Cabinet has considered the financial strain that this pandemic has on many individuals, households, and businesses. With this in mind, there are various relief packages and means of financial support that is being eligibly offered. Rebuilding the economy may take time, but the government has placed actions accordingly. The government agencies have advised the nation to be cautious of the information they find on the internet, that citizens must be mindful that this pandemic could pose misleading information and scams online. Yes, it is important to continue being informed. However, ensure that the information you choose to accept is from a trustworthy source. The misinformation found on the internet is being disapproved by a team of authorities to ensure that the citizens of the nation are receiving correct information. That is all I have for now. Back to you, Alma.
All right. So, Mia, it's evident that there is a low daily rate of infection now in Australia and continuing to flatten the curve. However, is there a fear of a second wave? And do you think the citizenry will be compliant? Is the nation prepared?
Yes, thank you for that question, Alma. Well, yes, as we continue to gradually ease and lift restrictions, it is still considered for this virus to be a threat. So concurrent to the threat of this virus, there is always the potential of a second wave or for an outbreak to occur. So the ease of these restrictions is being tailored to the way the nation is performing, and the guidelines are always being published and updated considerably. If the nation continues to stay committed to these guidelines, it is ensured that the suppression of this virus will be maintained. Thanks, Alma.
All right. Thank you very much, Mia, for your updates. Thank you, EBC Australia Bureau.
Thanks, Alma. From Brisbane, Australia, this is Mia Makapagal, Eagle News, and we live in interesting times.
Japanese lawmakers have passed a second supplementary budget to address the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic. Plus, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government have decided to deactivate its virus alert. More from Dennis Liu. Hello, Dennis.
Hi, Alma. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, Japanese lawmakers have passed a second supplementary budget to blunt the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic. The upper house approved the bill on Friday. The package is worth a record 31.9 trillion yen, or almost $300 billion. The package will focus on financial aid for frontline medical staff and subsidies for small businesses. In the morning, following its passage through the more powerful House of Representatives on Wednesday, with the support of almost all opposition parties. At an Upper House Budget Committee meeting, Prime Minister Abe Shinzo said the government is creating plans to stimulate the tourism demand. I hope the large allocation for local subsidies in the second supplementary budget will help regional economies recover. Prime Minister Abe Shinzo added that the government is also considering support for the arts and culture sector. Meanwhile, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government decided to deactivate its virus alert and move to the third and final stage of its plan to reboot businesses and reopen society. Phase 3 of the city's coronavirus roadmap entails lifting business closure requests for entertainment and recreational facilities. These include karaoke establishments, bars, pachinko parlors, arcades, and amusement parks, among others. Restaurants and bars will be invited to stay open until midnight, and public events will be limited to 2,000 people. Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike said in this third and final stage, nearly all business closure requests in Tokyo will have been lifted. The governor said experts who reviewed recent monitoring data on Tokyo's COVID-19 cases advised the Tokyo government that it is reasonable to lift the Tokyo alert, an alarm mechanism meant to warn residents of an uptick in new cases of the coronavirus and move to phase 3. The alert was deactivated on Thursday, and Tokyo will enter phase 3 from Friday. Governor Koike said the metropolitan government would gradually lift virus countermeasures if the weekly average of daily cases stayed under 20. Alma.
Okay, so you were talking about the Tokyo alert. Governor Koike activated this for the first time, a Tokyo alert. Can you tell me more about this Tokyo alert?
Yes, Alma, the Tokyo alert was issued on June 2nd because of signs of an increase in infections. The city reported 34 new cases of the novel coronavirus on that day. The alert urged residents to remain vigilant against the virus with government buildings lit up in red as a reminder. Now, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government is lifting the Tokyo alert, paving the way for Step 3. This will allow bars and restaurants to stay open until midnight and will also amusement parks and pachinko parlors to reopen. The decision to lift the alert comes after the situation improved in recent days. So far, Tokyo has reported 22 newly confirmed cases on Thursday. In the previous 4 days, the daily figure was below 20. Alma?
All right. Thank you very much, Dennis, for your update there in Japan. Looking forward for more. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you very much, Alma. Reporting from Tokyo, Japan. And this is Lou. We live in interesting times.
Eagle News, we'll be right back.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, gabay natin ang MTRCB ratings sa matalino at responsableng panonood. Sa tamang pagsunod sa MTRCB ratings, ginagawa nating ligtas at makabuluhan ang panonood ng bawat miyembro ng pamilyang Pilipino. Lumipas man ang panahon, hanggang may pamilyang Pilipino, andyan ang MTRCB.
The honeymoon island of Maldives is reopening to travelers in July without coronavirus restrictions. That and more. Joining us live from Maldives is Steffi Dewan. Hello, Steffi.
Hi, Alma. Yes, that's the latest news for today. Health authorities in the Maldives says residents of the capital Male will be allowed to leave their homes without permits starting from June 15 as part of the phased easing of its 2-month-old lockdown. Domestic airports will open and restaurants and cafes can resume takeaway and delivery services. The Health Protection Agency, however, is advising against visiting family members at their homes and in banning gatherings of more than 3 people in any public spaces. Masks are mandatory in public spaces. Meanwhile, Maldives is reopening to all visitors next month with no restrictions. While a previous draft proposal indicated travelers would need to present a medical certificate confirming proof of a negative COVID-19 test, the island nation is instead opting to allow tourists in without prior testing or a mandatory quarantine period. There are also no new visa requirements for additional fees. Maldives has reported 8 deaths and 1,976 infections, of which the vast
Okay, Steph, we can't hear you. Okay. Okay, Steph? Okay, we'll try and get back with Steph as soon as we get a better connection. All right, let's head on first to Geneva, where the iconic and famous Jacques d'Eau is turned back on after being shut down since March 20th. Jim Hipolito joins us live.
Yes, Alma.
Good evening from Manila, Jim.
Hi, good evening, Alma. Thank you for having me once again.
Thank you.
Yes, Alma, here in Geneva, where the mighty water fountain that's often associated with the Swiss city is back, up and running again, after a near 3-month stoppage because of the coronavirus. Authorities took the decision to temporarily turn off the 140-meter jet on March 20 to reinforce lockdown measures being implemented at the time and to protect the staff who ran the iconic monument that towers over Lake Geneva. World Health Organization WHO head Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus turned on the spot on Thursday along with the UN Geneva chief Tatiana Valuvaya in a symbolic gesture to highlight the importance of international cooperation in the fight against the pandemic.
So today we're once again going to see an old friend, the Jet d'eau. I hope that the sight of the Jet d'eau towering over Lac Lemon will once again give joy and hope to all Genevois and the city's visitors.
Hello, Jim. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, Alma, to date, Switzerland has confirmed almost 31,000 cases of infection and more than 1,600 deaths, according to latest WHO data. The country is gradually easing restrictions linked to the disease. Smaller private and public events of up to 300 people, as well as spontaneous gatherings for groups of up to 30 people, have been allowed since June 6. Restaurants hosting groups of 4 people or more must take the number of one of the parties present so that contact tracing is possible in case of a coronavirus outbreaks. To protect staff during the phase-out of lockdown measures, employers must adapt the work environment or allow those at especially high risk to work from home. High-risk persons can refuse to work and be entitled to leave with pay. On the political front, people's initiatives and referendum requests resume on June 1. The collection of signatures in public spaces is allowed, provided that protective measures are put in place. Supermarkets and pharmacies remained open throughout the crisis. On April 27, businesses such as salons, florists, and do-it-yourself shops were allowed to reopen with precautionary measures in place, such as the use of face masks, and plans to reopen its borders with Austria, France, and Germany on Monday, 15 June. Back to you, Alma.
All right. Thank you very much, Jim, for your updates there in Geneva, Switzerland. Thank you.
Reporting live from Geneva, Switzerland, this is Jim Hipolito, and we live in interesting times.
All right. And let's try and get back with Steffi, the one in Maldives. The island is reopening to travelers in July without coronavirus restrictions. Steph?
Hi, Alma.
Hello, Steph. Hello again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So I hope we have a better connection now. Go ahead.
Okay. So here's the latest updates from the island country of Maldives. Health authorities in the Maldives says residents of the capital Male will be allowed to leave their homes without permits starting from June 15 as part of the easing of its 2-month-old lockdown. Domestic airports will open and restaurants and cafes can resume takeaway and delivery services. The Health Protection Agency, however, is advising against visiting family members at their homes and is banning gatherings of more than 3 people in any public spaces. Masks are mandatory in public spaces. Meanwhile, Maldives is reopening to all visitors next month with no restrictions. While a previous draft proposal indicated travelers would need to present a medical certificate confirming proof of a negative COVID-19 test, the island nation is instead opting to allow tourists in without prior testing or a mandatory quarantine period. There are also no new visa requirements or additional fees. Maldives has reported 8 deaths and 1,976 infections, of which the vast majority were in the congested capital. Alma?
All right. So, Steph, Maldives. Okay, so are we? Officials previously suggested the destination would reopen towards the end of the year. Now they've changed it.
Yes, Alma. But to ensure safety, the government says it is issuing a safe tourism license to accredit tourist facilities that abide by government legislation and specific safety requirements like having a certified medic on call and holding an adequate stock of personal protection equipment. The original proposal suggested incoming travelers would need to have a confirmed booking with a tourist facility with a license, but it seems this is no longer the case. A spokesperson for the tourism board has confirmed the Indian Ocean destination will welcome back the tourists of all nationalities in July. Last month, the Maldives, which closed its border in March, announced a phased reopening that indicated incoming flights to its main international airport would recommence in July.
All right.
Alma?
Thank you very much, Steffi, for your updates there in Maldives. Thank you.
Thank
Stay
you
safe.
so much, Alma. Once again, this is Steffi Di Juan reporting live from Maldives, and we live in interesting times.
Meanwhile, France has revealed its new crisis budget to support its coronavirus-hit economy. Joining us live from Marseille, France, is Fabien Calpo. Hello, Fabien.
Hello, Alma. How are you?
I'm good. Bonjour. How are you? How are you doing? So your
Good,
updates.
thank you.
Okay. Your updates in France, yes?
Yes, Alma. As of June 12, France has 155,561 confirmed cases, 29,346 deaths, and 72,149 recoveries. France is in second phase of deconfinement. The coronavirus crisis imposes an increasing impact, especially on the economy. According to Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire, our response to the COVID-19 crisis was immediate and massive. 450 billion euros in aid in state guarantees, or 20% of the national wealth. The budget is expected to extend in order to support the healthcare system, employment in businesses to recover from the sudden drop of economic growth. While the number of people in hospital with coronavirus in France gradually declines, the state's expenditures continues to rise. Earlier, the state has released 110 billion euros to cope with the economic shock brought about by the nationwide confinement from March 17 to May 10. 24 billion euros has been provided for partial activity and 7 billion euros solidarity fund for small businesses. 8 billion euros has been provided for exceptional health expenses, including PPEs, personal protective equipment, and to cover exceptional remuneration, the frontliners, and the medical sector. The government recently released 1.2 billion euros to help EHPAD, Etablissement d'Hébergement pour Personnes Âgées Dépendantes, or nursing homes. About 500 million euros would be devoted to the payment of a bonus for the entire staff of EHPAD, while household workers and professionals could claim a tax credit. President Macron announced aid for the auto industry, along with the government's pledge of 18 billion euros for tourism sector, is expected to detail an assistance for the aerospace industry in the coming weeks. Although France has lifted and announced ease on lockdown measures on specific sectors and regions, economic experts claim a second wave of economic shock is already underway. This was confirmed by Governor of the Bank of France, François Villeroy-de-Galhau, who also estimated that the confinement would also weigh on French growth. The allocation budget in favor of employees and companies is expected to increase heavily. Rules of partial unemployment will change from June 1, according to the Labor Minister Muriel Pénicaud. The state will limit its coverage and companies will have to pay 15% of this compensation, while employee compensation will not change. Sectors whose activity cannot restart on June 1 may continue to benefit from 100% support for the partial activity by the state in UNIDIC, all that is hotel, catering, bars, events, and the cultural sectors, including all the sectors which cannot operate by administrative decision, will continue to be able to profit from partial unemployment for the full-rate employees, added PDCO. Prime Minister Edouard Philippe said during the presentation of the country's 18 billion rescue package for the tourist industry, reopening of bars, cafes, and restaurants as of June 2nd can be envisaged in green environments. This means only in the areas where the epidemic has successfully slowed down, where there's room to maneuver in hospitals and departments ready for massive testing. That's the update for France. Alma, up to you.
All right. Thank you, Fabulin, for your updates there in France. Looking forward for more. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you, Alma. Thank you for having me. For Eagle News International from Marseille, France, I am Fabulin Calco. We live in interesting times.
Okay, before we go to the United Kingdom Bureau, Ambassador of Israel to the Philippines, His Excellency Rafael Harpaz, has sent his greetings to the Philippines on the occasion of its 122nd anniversary of the Proclamation of Independence. Let's take a look.
I would like to congratulate the Filipino people, the Filipino government, and the Filipinos all over the world for your Independence Day, your 122nd years of great success. We in Israel appreciate a lot the achievements of this country and the Filipino people. This is a tough period for all of us. We are fighting together the COVID-19 virus. I'm sure that all of us will recover soon and our ties will be stronger than ever, and together we will look towards the future, a bright future of great relations between our countries and great future for the Philippines. Thank you. Mabuhay. Shalom.
All right. The United Kingdom's gross domestic product collapsed by a record 20.4% in April due to the coronavirus pandemic. Plus, Her Majesty the Queen joins her first official video call. Joining us live from the United Kingdom Bureau, here's Aribel Celestino.
And you're right. Here's the update from the UK. Britain's economy collapses by more than a fifth in April from March. Official data showed on Friday on virus lockdown. Gross domestic product nosedived by a record of 20.4% from the previous month. After a 5.8% contraction in March, the Office for National Statistics said. The lockdown was imposed by the UK government on the 23rd of March in an attempt to seize the spread of COVID-19, and also stepped in to back up employee wages in costly furlough jobs retention scheme. The dramatic collapse in April was 3 times greater than the slump experienced during the 2008 to 2009 global financial crisis, it said. According to AFP, Jonathan Athow, ONS Deputy National Statistician, described the 20% slump as unprecedented. April's fall in GDP is the biggest the UK has ever seen, more than 3 times larger than last month, and almost 10 times larger than the steepest pre-COVID-19 fall, said Athow. The hardest hit areas were pubs, education, health, and car sales. The economy has experienced a significant shock since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. GDP has fallen dramatically, with record-broke falls in output for production services and construction, the ONS added. The COVID-19 pandemic had a significant and wide-ranging negative impact in April on British businesses. April 2020 has experienced sharper falls than March, as the negative impacts of social distancing and lockdown have led to a significant fall in consumer demand and business and factory closures, as well as supply chain disruptions. The ONS said. Britain is now gradually easing the lockdown. From next Monday, non-essential shops and services, as well as zoos, wildlife parks, and drive-in cinemas can open, and individual attendance will be allowed at places of worship, although restrictions have not yet been lifted on pubs, bars, restaurants, and other leisure facilities. Britain is widely expected to slump into recession into the second quarter of this year, having contracted by 2% in the first 3 months of 2020. The economy could collapse as much as 35% in the current quarter that runs to the end of June, according to UK fiscal watchdog, the Office for Budget Responsibility. The Bank of England has already warned that the COVID-19 economic paralysis could lead to Britain's worst recession in centuries. On a lighter news, Queen Elizabeth has kept up with technology throughout her reign, and on Thursday made her debut on a digital platform that has become omnipresent during the coronavirus outbreak. The 94-year-old monarch logged in from Windsor Castle, where she has been staying during the COVID-19 outbreak, to speak with carers and discuss how they have been coping. "Interesting listening to all your tales and stories," she said, according to an excerpt of the call released by Buckingham Palace. "I'm very glad to have been able to join you today." Her daughter, Princess Anne, 69, also logged in for an engagement. After marking a nationwide week of events, highlighting the work of people who care for relatives or friends with a disability, mental or physical illness. The Queen's eldest son and heir, Prince Charles, revealed last week he has been doing the FaceTime to stay in touch with family and friends during the coronavirus lockdown. The Queen has always shown an interest in new technology. In fact, she sent her first email long before most people, from a computer at a British Army base in 1976. In 2014, she sent her first tweet during a visit to London Science Museum, expressing her pleasure at opening a new gallery and signing it Elizabeth R. The R stands for Regina, Latin for Queen. Most recently, she held a lockdown weekly audience from Windsor with Prime Minister Boris Johnson, but on an old-fashioned rotary phone. Back to you, Alma.
All right. Thank you very much, Aribel, for your updates there in the United Kingdom. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you so much, Alma. Reporting from the United Kingdom, I am Aribel Celestino, and we live in interesting times. Consul General Adrian Cruz from the Philippine Embassy in Spain talks about how they celebrated the Philippine independence there, plus the situation of the Filipino community. Lynn Tumbaga Diaz reports from Barcelona.
Thank you so much, Consul General Adi, for letting this interview to happen. And before we discuss about the Philippine Independence Day that we will do it here in Spain, let me just ask first, how many cases of Filipinos have COVID-19 in Spain?
Thank you, Lynn, for having me as a guest on your show. On behalf of Ambassador Philip Luwilier, I want to welcome everyone. Isang maganda at mapagpalayang araw po sa inyong lahat. I'm glad that you started this interview with the question about COVID cases. I'm sure you have also been monitoring the situation in Spain and also the new infections being reported by the Spanish Health Ministry. I am pleased to tell you that the Philippine Embassy in Madrid has not received any report of a Filipino having been COVID positive for the past 10 days. We have been monitoring, however, a total of 83 cases of Filipinos who are suspected or have contracted the COVID-19. 6 of them, unfortunately, have passed away. And the cause of death is attributed to COVID-19 or other health concerns. The rest of the Filipinos are fully recovered.
And how will the Filipinos in Spain celebrate the Philippine Independence Day?
The Filipinos in Spain can catch the Independence Day celebrations online at the Facebook page of the Philippine Embassy in Madrid. We have started a series of webinars under the banner El Mes Filipino, or Filipino Month, where we feature Philippine restaurants, performers, artists, and cultural experts and enthusiasts who live in Spain and Andorra. There are also guest speakers who come from all over the world as well.
So, how different will it be from the previous celebrations?
The El Mes Filipino has been a yearly tradition of the Philippine Embassy. But now, the difference is that we have to do it online. So we provide a weekly schedule of web discussions and other special activities. So far, we have had 10 events, and I am pleased to say we have had a total of 76,000 views already.
Okay.
And we're happy that all our webinars are well received by everyone, and not just in Europe, but in North America, Asia, and the Middle East. And just to give you an idea of how important this celebration is, we've been seeing huge numbers of viewers staying tuned, especially for our cooking demonstrations. It gives exposure to Pinoy restaurants here in Spain and in Andorra. And the owners are quite happy to report that they are getting more than the usual number of takeaway orders.
Okay. So this COVID-19 crisis, how does the Philippine Embassy in Spain reach out and help our fellow Filipinos?
170 Filipinos so far have received financial assistance through the DOLE ACAP, or the Cash Assistance Program. In terms of food aid, the Embassy had formed a network involving our Filipino Labor Attaché, our OWA Welfare Officer, the Honorary Consuls, and the Filipino community. Close to 1,000 Filipinos have already received food aid or grocery vouchers. We hope to do it. One more. We hope to have one more food drive, and we hope that we can reach out to possibly 1,000 Filipinos more.
Okay.
The Embassy had opened its doors for consular appointments last June 1, and we are open every day. The same with our Philippine Consulate in Barcelona. And I would advise your viewers, please check our Facebook pages or our website for our contact details. And for ATM cases, you can reach us by email. We also encourage your viewers to check our public advisories regularly, and through our public advisories, they know how to set appointments of our consular services. I also am quite pleased that you will be giving us an opportunity right now to share with the public some of the photos that the Filipino community have been giving us, showing the food drive, the true Bayanihan spirit of Filipinos all over Spain.
Okay. So, what is your message to many Filipinos who are still struggling because of the COVID-19 disease?
Through our online activities, Lynn, we hope that the Philippine Embassy can help in some way toward the healing of the community as we all continue to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. The Filipinos in Spain, by and large, are really affected by COVID-19, as well as millions and millions of Filipinos everywhere. But you know, what I have noticed is that Filipinos by and large, they are quite resilient. And the Philippine Embassy has only received very few cases of Filipinos who would just want to go home. Nais ko sana hikayatin ang ating mga kababayan na magkaroon ng panghabang buhay na pananaw o longer term view upang harapin ang mga problema. To survive in this crisis, we have to have a deep faith in God. But we cannot rely on faith alone. We also have to help ourselves. And you know, that message reverberated to me, and I think that's also a message that I would like to share to the Filipinos here.
From Barcelona, Spain, I'm Lynn Bautista Tumbaga Diaz, and we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Lynn. Now, in time of physical and emotional distance, we give importance to the unsung service delivered by our frontliners, our news correspondents positioned all over the world. Without them, we wouldn't have the eagle-eye focus on the facts of this pandemic and its continuing repercussions on our lives. To our international correspondents, thank you for staying in touch with our viewers. Stay safe, protect yourselves and others. Good night. I'm Alma Angeles. We live in interesting times.
Thank you.